Hey Northgate, great to see you on a Wednesday night. I hope you guys are all staying safe and staying warm. Hopefully tomorrow things will thaw out, but we just wanted to drop by and pray for a few folks. I want you to remember James Lewis, who's had a tracheotomy and in need of your prayers. He's recovering. Also Levi Ray. Also continue to pray for Shay Gaskins. She's in need of your prayers. We thank you all for your prayers. I hope you enjoyed our series Lost and Found. We've wrapped that up. That is our theme for the year, even though the series is over. So we ask you to continue to pray for your 7 souls. Please comment in NGP family where you put the names of those people so we all can pray with you. Reach out to them, pray for them, and let's believe God to bring them to the Lord this year. Now we're starting a new series on Sunday, and I'm going to just preview it tonight. And the world talks a lot about meaning and purpose, and all of us are trying to find that. So our new series is called Created For. Beyond 4 is a blank. So in each new week, there's someone whose teaching is going to fill that blank, and then on Wednesdays, we're going to have a lab on that subject. So Sundays are going to be more of a big picture, biblical view, and then on Wednesdays the teacher is going to give us some practical application of how to do that. So our whole society yearns for meaning, and the secular culture is trying to provide that in many ways by trying to save the planet, by being involved in social justice, which are not all wrong in and of themselves, but there really is no eternal value, purpose, and meaning in those things. And so we as a church have to answer that question from a biblical perspective. So tonight I want to talk a little about meaning and purpose. And so there's so many opinions on this. Some say the purpose of life is to seek the truth, to actualize our potential, self-actualization, to find happiness, or to leave a legacy, to improve the balance of pleasure over pain, or to love and be loved. And others say, on the secular view, would say there's no purpose, that the conclusion of the atheistic worldview and its corresponding explanation of creation, the Darwinian evolution, is that there is no purpose. You're just an accident, and when you cease to exist, that's it. One writer said this: some shrink from the conclusion that the human species was not designed and has no purpose and is the product of a mechanical mechanism. But this seems to be the message of evolution. And some atheists are uncomfortable with or even repulsed by such talk. They want to excise the world of a personal creator, but still hold on that there's objective meaning in the world. They fail to realize that the ultimate purpose and meaning in life requires at least two things, in my humble opinion. One, life beyond the grave, or immortality, and the existence of God. I believe God is necessary because without Him, there is no transcendent source from which to receive purpose and draw meaning. And immortality is necessary because without continued existence beyond the grave, our moral choices are ultimately irrelevant. Just let me expand for a few moments on these necessary conditions for what I call objective meaning. So let's talk about immortality. A woman with terminal cancer was asked, "What is it like for you to wake up every morning knowing you are close to death?" She responded, "What is it like for you to wake up every morning pretending you aren't?" See, the fact of the matter is that all of us have an expiration date. All of us will die. Some of us many years from now, some of us in a short time. What then becomes of our lives? Without immortality, our lives will be stomped out into non-existence, reduced to a fleeting moment in a sea of infinity. Like a candle in the wind, our flame will be snuffed out in darkness, never to flicker again. Where is the meaning in that, I would ask? And what are the moral implications of that kind of belief system? If there is no life beyond the grave, there can be no ultimate accountability for the way we live our lives. In the end, it makes little difference whether we live lives like Hitler or Mother Teresa. If there is no God, then life ultimately means nothing. Since there is no enduring purpose to life, there's no right or wrong way to live it. It is becoming increasingly clear that immortality must be coupled with the existence of God to provide meaning in life and to make sense of moral responsibility. There's a modern atheistic ethicist named Richard Taylor, and he wrote, "To say that something is wrong because it is forbidden by God is perfectly understandable to anyone who believes in a law-giving God. But to say something is wrong even though no God exists, to forbid it, is not understandable. The concept of moral obligation is unintelligible apart from the ideal of God. The words remain, but the meaning is gone. If there is no God, we are left only with the bare facts of cold existence. Molecules and atoms know neither right nor wrong. They just are. If there is no life beyond the grave, there cannot be any ultimate consequences for our actions. Man's evil deeds will go unpunished, and his good deeds will go unrewarded. The wrongs will never be righted, and justice will never be served. If we experience immortality, however, our moral choices on this side of the grave become extremely significant. The other thing we must have is the existence of a God, not just immortality. While immortality is necessary for objective meaning, it is not sufficient without God. Mere duration of existence beyond the grave is not enough. Objective meaning requires the existence of God. Without a God, we will still be asking, what is my purpose? And why am I here? But for time immemorial rather than a mere lifetime, I believe we were all created for a purpose. God is the only sufficient ground for meaning and purpose in life. Without God, we're just a cosmic accident who lives to contemplate how meaningless our existence really is. To have purpose, one must be created to do something, to function in a particular way. The purpose of a car is to transport people and things. The purpose of the church is to facilitate the assembling of believers and equipping them for ministry. The purpose of the police force is to restrain and punish evildoers. Each of these things was created for a purpose and thus has meaning. If the world was not created with purposeful intent, then it is devoid of purpose. This is why atheism is inept to provide meaning and purpose in life. The message of atheism is that man came into existence uncaused for no purpose, and he will pass out of existence without a purpose. The same purposeless cosmic process that brought us into existence will also eradicate our existence. Peter Singer, an atheistic philosopher at Princeton, understood well the implications of this atheistic worldview. He said, atheism is incapable of answering these questions of our purpose and meaning to our existential satisfaction. William Lane Craig wrote this. He wrote an article called Who Am I? Man asked. Why am I here? Where am I going? He says, since the Enlightenment, when we threw off the shackles of religion, man has tried to answer these questions without reference to God. But the answers that came back were not exhilarating, but dark and terrible. You are the accidental byproduct of nature, a result of matter plus time plus chance. There is no reason for your existence. All you face is certain extinction. Modern man thought that when he had gotten rid of God, he had freed himself from all that repressed and stifled him. Instead, he discovered that in killing God, he also killed himself. For if there is no God, then man's life becomes absurd. It means that life itself is absurd. It means that life that we have is without ultimate significance, value, or purpose. On a naturalistic view of the world, the end of man is the same as mosquitoes, and thus he ultimately has no more significance than mosquitoes. People may choose to pretend their life has meaning, but it is just pretending. The universe does not acquire value simply because we ascribe value to it. Peter Atkins spoke on this wise: humanity should accept that science has eliminated the justification for believing in cosmic purpose, and that any survival of purpose is inspired solely by sentiment. There are two reasons why this fails. There is no hope beyond the grave. So all of the children who are born with terrible difficulties and sickness and live most of their life in pain, there will be no righting of those wrongs. It's hard for people who struggle in third world countries to believe in that. There's no hope. And I believe that there is hope. And I hope that during this series, we will be able to answer these questions for you. Our basic purpose is to glorify God in our behavior, in our treatment of others, in our worship of God, in our obedience of God. But each of us have a unique purpose, and that's what we're trying to discover in this series, your unique purpose. And I believe God is going to help us. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night. Stay warm and stay safe. God bless.